Hi everyone, I'm super glad to host you again on the weekly market outlook on the EQ Markets Global YouTube channel. And this is Tony George, head market analyst for EQ Markets Global. All right, without wasting any further time, let's quickly go into what we have for this week. So for the economic calendar, we are having a bit of economic data and of course bank holidays that we need to be looking out for this week. So for the whole of Monday, which is today, we're going to be experiencing some low liquidity in the market because, of course, in Switzerland, there will be the Wheat Monday that they will be observing. And of course, in Great Britain, we'll be experiencing the summer bank holiday. Then as well for Europe, both in France and in Germany, will also be experiencing the Wheat Monday. And then for the United States, we'll be experiencing the Memorial Day, which is happening also all today. So some bit of low liquidity, or we might also see some spike in the market because of these banks are on holiday, and of course some big players in the market may want to take advantage of that, right? And then, of course, most of the attention for this week will be centered somewhere around Wednesday to Friday. But the big day is on Friday. Everybody is waiting out for Friday, where we're going to be having, of course, increased volatility in the market because of the NFP data that we're expecting to happen here on Friday, right? So on Friday, yeah, we're going to be experiencing the NFP data. If you have not traded NFP with me, I need you to sign up, all right, so that someone is going to contact you and you are going to be trading NFP with me. So just a bit about the NFP, right? In the last 5 months, we've traded NFP together with the community, and that's trade NFP with Tony George. And all 5 months, January, February, March, April, and May, were super successful. All right. We were making groundbreaking results, and of course a whole lot of testimonies and many more like that. Right. So I need you to be part of the June's edition, right, of NFP, Trade NFP with Tony George. And I need you to get accounts ready, fund your accounts, and come prepared. Of course, you're going to be making 50% of that account, 100%, or even more, right? I promise you that. So that will be on Friday. But then on Wednesday, of course, we're expecting the JOLTS report to be released. Okay. That's the job opening and labor turnover survey, right? How many persons actually got job in the US? All right. We would be knowing all that um sorry, rather, how many job openings are available in the US? Remember, this data always comes out before the NFP data, right? So how many job openings are there currently this month for the US citizens, all right? So this is a big data we would be expecting by 3 p.m. on Wednesday to actually come out, right? And then of course on Thursday we're going to be having unemployment claims. People will be claiming they don't have any employment and all that, many more, right? So this is also another big data that we will be expecting, but that would be by 1:30 p.m. on Thursday. Sorry, let me go back to Wednesday. On Wednesday, we're also expecting the CPI data year on year for the Aussie, right? And also GDP for the Canadian dollar, right? So all these are things that we need to put an eye on, right? So just quickly going over to the dollar index for today. So today started out as a bearish with a bearish movement, but I think it's back up on a bullish movement, right? This is on the weekly time frame. Like I told you earlier, I told you last week, right? I was expecting perhaps last week candle was supposed to see the dollar index drive into 105.005, but it seems like that wasn't really possible, right? So we saw it come to around the 104 axis, right? Just a few more pips to go to hit 105.05005, right? But then we saw a little bearish movement today, but let me show you that on the daily time frame. So, but before I show you that on the daily time frame, pardon me, on the weekly time frame, it's more like we're still expecting some bullish movement, right? Up into 105.005. But then on the daily time frame, I could see something very significant, right? So on the daily time frame, first I was able to recognize this high and again this high, and I again recognizing the fact that prices has come back into this trend line on the daily time frame. The question is, will it be respected? Will sellers be looking here to see that they push the dollar index back below to 102.295 or back below to 100.822? Right? That question would be answered after the market, after the display today. And of course, before the end of this week, we would know if this zone will be respected or we will most likely see prices still rally back up into 105.005. But for today, the dollar had been quite in a little bearish movement, all right, for today. So if you're new to this YouTube channel, I would like you to subscribe to this YouTube channel and leave a thumbs up for this video, right? And also turn on the notification bell, put it at all so you get notified every single time we put up educative and informative content just like this one. I don't need you to go, all right? By the end of this video, just right about now, we're going into, I'll be showing you 5 to 7 assets that will make you crazy money, right? Like I show you every week and it plays out, right? So I want to show you those assets. But then I need you to first leave a thumbs up for this video, right? Just right quickly. Leave a thumbs up for this video before I show you those 7 assets that will fetch you money, right? Just do that. Just do that. All right. Click the thumbs up. Click the thumbs up. All right. If you've done that and you're not subscribed yet to this video, I need you to subscribe as well to this video. All right. Thank you so much. And let's go over to the assets that we will be looking at for this week. So first, I'm starting with Euro USD. If you followed me, I've always given the roadmap on where Euro USD will be going. Okay, and of course, we are seeing Euro USD playing out respectfully, right? So on the weekly time frame, we found this counter trend line. First, it was this trend line, this weekly trend line, this first one here, and then we had the first touch somewhere around here, right? Somewhere around here, and then the second touch, and then we had a break of structure. Let me zoom in so you can see. We had a break of structure here, then a retest, and then prices rebounded. All right, prices went bullish. Even when it had a bearish retracement, all right, if you notice carefully, it only came back into this support area as well. And then from that zone, it continued to move upward, right? So this zone is very significant. First, I need to talk about this zone. So you wouldn't know how significant it is until you scale down to the daily time frame. So on the daily time frame, yeah, you can see that this zone was a resistance, then break, retest, and continue to go up. So I was able to map out this zone. But what is more important is that the counter trend line that originally existed is now acting as the main trend line. So we had the first touch here, the second, the third, and then of course, if prices is coming back to the same trend line, right, we're expecting some reactions around this zone, and of course, a bullish movement to take place still right about the zone, right? So if you look at it on the 4 hourly time frame, we've already had confirmations, a bullish confirmation, but of course, market is still trying to react on that zone and see what's going to happen. So this is what I advise, right? Where you can take a buy at instant execution. You can take a buy at instant execution. Our first take profit price will be around 107744, right? And of course, well above that level, we're looking at prices coming into 1.08966. All right. Now you should be able to determine your stop loss at least by having your stop loss just a little below this week, because this is last week all-time low, right, on Euro USD. So having your stop loss a little below this week is going to also be fair enough. And that should be more like around 1.06950, right? Your stop loss 1.06950. And then, of course, your take profit level, we're expecting it to come into 1.07, right? 1.07744, right? That's about 60 pip movement to the upside. And of course, if it comes into our take profit too, that is going to be about a 180 pip movement. Whereas we're only risking about 20 to 25 pips to the downside, right? So that's for Euro USD, and this is going to fetch you good money this week. Trust me, guys. We have a similar case on AUD USD, right? We have a similar case on AUD USD. So on AUD USD as well, let's look at it on the weekly time frame so that I can show you what is happening. So the overall sentiment of the market is a bearish movement, but of course we've had this counter trend line that is going all the way up, right? And then of course we can notice that this particular area here is a very significant zone. So looking at it on the daily time frame, right? Looking at it on the daily time frame, it was a resistance, then it broke, and then we could say that this could just be the perfect retest on this particular zone. And of course, that it matches with the trend line is also something, just like we saw on Euro USD case, right? It's also something very significant to look at. That's more like two confirmations already existing, right? And then, of course, on the daily time frame, we're yet to get a confirmation by our momentum indicator, which is the CCI. But on the 4 hourly time frame, we have confirmation already in the market, all right? Confirmation already exists in the market. So if you're entering the market here at the current market price, all right, you're still safe to an extent, right? We'll be looking at our first take profit somewhere around 0.66086. And of course, well above that level, we'll most likely want to see price come into this zone, which is 0.66613. And then of course, our stop loss is going to be a bit big, all right? But we can also shorten our stop loss, okay? So we can have our stop loss. The ideal stop loss was supposed to be below the lowest pivotal point, right? Which is somewhere around 0.64864. But if you can't reach that much, then of course you can use some other methods to find what you are going to be risking. This is about 55 pips. All right. So our first take profit is about 67 pips. That's over 1:1. And of course, our second take profit is around 120 pips, which is over 1:2, right? So it's still a fair deal for you to do. NZD-USD is also another perfect trade for a buy that can fetch you money this week. So yeah, we saw the counter trend line going all the way up. But first, let me establish the fact that this is an overall bearish sentiment, right? Only that price rebounded at this particular zone that we can find here. You can see tap, tap, and then it rebounded. All right, trying to have a change of character. You can see it closed above this lowest high points, right, before the lowest point. So it closed above this. So we're going to be more likely going to start experiencing higher highs and higher lows formation, right? Because it seems like the reign of the lower lows and lower highs formation is over. So we're going to be experiencing the lowest point and then another high, a higher low again, and create another higher high. So that's more like the pattern and formation we're going to be experiencing in the coming weeks. And so for that pattern to happen, this is the lowest, the highest high low, okay? Um, sorry about that. Okay, let me it's higher high and higher low, right? So this is a low, this is a higher low, right? So we're expecting it to create a higher high, right? So if you're about trading this, right, there's no confirmation on the daily time frame, but on the 4 hourly time frame, there's confirmation already existing. So we might take NZD-USD at the current market price, and of course our stop loss can be around 0.60283. And then of course we're going to be looking at our first take profit somewhere around 0.61352. And then, of course, well above that level, we can see price coming to this level, which is 0.63016. All right. In either case, this is more than 1:3. Right. Taking buy trade at the current market price to our stop loss is about 30 pips. Right. Then to our first take profit is about 77 pips. That's over 1:2. And then, of course, to our second take profit is about 243 pips. That is a huge money that we're going to be expecting this week on NZD USD as well. The similar case happens on GBP USD. So let's look at GBP USD on the daily time frame. So this is a counter trend line. After first touch and second touch, we are going to be having to experience the third touch. Yet to have a confirmation as well. But then you should know this is a support area and also resting on an horizon on a trend line. That's more like double confirmations as well. So on the 4 hourly time frame, right, we can also see that prices is trying to pitch a stance here, right? So we can notice this particular area here, then acting as the support, right? So prices bounced and even on the trend line, and it's going all the way up. So we can also look at taking a buy position somewhere around the current market price. Our stop loss should be somewhere around 1.22964, but then our first take profit could be around 1.24065. That's almost like 1:1.5, right? And then well above that level, we can see prices coming to as well 1.24634. Then for USD JPY, I still see I'm not still certain about the sell-off for today on USD JPY, right? I still see a little push to the upside for prices to come into 142.068, okay? 142.068. And then, of course, around this level is where I'll be expecting a more confirmation, a more solid confirmation for a sell on USD JPY. But for now, we can see a bearish retracement. Will it hold? Will it not hold? I'm not so certain, right? But whatever is the case, let's look at it. Why I'm not so certain is because I can't seem to find any proper reason why market should reverse at that level, right? So I've tried to look if that level is a good resistance area, but then I can't answer that question, if you can see. So for me, the more the more ideal area for me to look out for a sell opportunity is somewhere around the 142.068. Why? Because all right, perhaps price is coming back to retest this support, this resistant area, all right, which was acting as a support, then break of structure retest. So price is it's more logical to say that price is coming back to test that 142.06 area, right? Than rather than selling off from this level, because I don't see that level as a good resistant area. But of course, this is the market and anything can happen. If I find confirmation on the daily time frame or around that level, all right, I'm also going on a short on USD JPY. Don't forget, on the monthly time frame, we still have the bears. We still have this as a bear dominated market. So this bullish movement for the past 3 or 4 months on USD JPY is only what a bullish retracement. So let's not mistake that, right? Let's not mistake that, right? So this is going to sell off massively, right? It's going to sell off massively. Trust me, guys. And then on gold, we have a perfect setup for a buy entry on gold, right? Guys, I don't want you to miss this. Gold is going to create an all-time high, higher than 2075 that it last tested. Okay. Now, this is the reason why I said so. If you look at it on the daily time frame, we have this first touch, we have the second touch, and of course we have the third touch. And every time it touches trend line, you can see the first when it rejected from 1615 axis, right? And went up, created a high, created a low. So higher high, higher low formation patterns. That's simply a bullish movement, right? So this is the first low, the high higher than this, the low higher than this low, and then another high was created higher than this high, and then another low is being created here, is being printed here, higher than this. So we're expecting another high to be created far higher than 2075. All right. So I'm strongly bullish bias for gold this week. All right. But although we still see consolidations since on Friday around this level, all right. But then you can take on a buy position on gold and of course expect gold to go all the way up, right? So I know some persons will be like, where should I have my take profit, right? You can look at gold coming back into 1982. It's currently trading around 1945, right? We can see gold come back into 1982. And then, of course, we can have our stop loss somewhere around this level, 1929.25, okay? And then 1982 is more than 1:3, right? And then, of course, well above that level, we can see gold come back into 2018 and well above 2018, even 2073, right? That's gold. So gold is going to fetch you so much money, all right? So let me just add this one, all right, for sake of um those of my community that has been holding GJ with us, okay? Guys, I'm sincerely sorry. GJ has refused to play out the way it ought to play out. But guys, don't worry, GJ is going to sell off, right? So this is what we were waiting for actually. All right. I think I made it too early for us to take on that trade, right? But then there's no problem about that. So if we look at GJ on the monthly time frame, right? We have the first touch, the second, and then of course a third touch. Will this break? I doubt it's going to break, but until it does, we're sell biased around that level. If you look at it on the weekly time frame, right? Price has already come into that zone, all right, and is already rejecting. We're yet to see confirmation at least on the daily time frame or on the weekly time frame. But of course, today candle is looking like an inverted hammer, right? So it's looking like a shooting star, right? Today's candle is already looking like a shooting star, which is more like a bearish reversal pattern, right? A single bearish reversal pattern. On the 4 hourly time frame, we already had confirmations on our momentum indicator and market had been selling off. But let's still see the reaction. We can still see a little push into the upside before prices will finally come back. So if we see that push into the upside to somewhere around the 173.416 or even to 173.756, then we can take a sell off at that point. Okay, that's for GBP JPY. All right. So I think these are all that will fetch you good money this week. Don't forget, last week I gave some trade opportunities. I called out this trade US 30 last week, and look at the big bullish movement that it gave last week. A lot of us made money from this trade. I also called out Euro NZD. All right. So I'm not kidding, guys. I'm not kidding. All of these trades were part of my weekly market outlook last week, and they gave good money and good profit. So let's also take Euro USD and every other trade I have called very seriously, and they will make you good money. Until we see again, bye for now and see you in the next weekly market outlook.